single one of you has always dreamed of spending 3 days on a deserted island. Our group today has basically brought the basic supplies, which you'd be doing if you're offshore fishing. So we've got some very basic camping stuff and some survival gear. For the next 3 days, we will only eat what we can catch, what we can spear, what we can scavenge, and then we've got a little bit of drinking water to back us up. Wish us luck.
The day prior, we scouted some potential islands via Google Maps and did some last-minute maintenance on the skis before settling on this small, unnamed island. We were looking for an island that had a decent amount of beach, large enough trees for our hammocks, and enough natural protection to keep us and the boat out of the 38-mile-per-hour winds that were in the forecast. So a couple of guys went out. You can just see their fins. We kind of picked this spot based on the Google Earth imagery. You can't tell there was like a shelf here, so we're assuming there's some lobsters kind of on this grass edge, and there's a bunch of structure kind of on both sides. There's another island there and one on the opposite side as well. This is our first time here. Obviously, we've never been here before, but there's obviously been other people just based on the stuff hanging from the trees. But we're kind of getting everything unloaded, got the hammock set up, and oh my gosh, we already got a lobster. It's literally seconds after being in the water, which is why we thought this would be a really good place to do a survival trip. We've done these before, like in wilderness situations, and you can't always rely on living off the land or it turns into a real survival trip. So this is gonna go well. Just as we arrived at our island, the clouds disappeared and the sun came out, and we speared that lobster right off the bat. I think all of this gave everyone a huge boost of confidence that living off of the ocean for the next few days was definitely a real possibility. Sure, you can hunt and gather food on land too, but it's just amazing that the ocean is so plentiful, not only for food, but also in the strange things that wash up on the beaches that are super useful in a survival situation. Jerry found a hard hat. So now he's Mr. Construction. He gave me some 4x4s in this barrel, which I'm not sure we're going to use because it's got a hole in it.
Cut the membrane on the bottom. You only have to go halfway. Pop, twist, pull, dump. Break off the antenna. Find his anal gland. Yes, Morpheus. Stick it in there. And you'll see his little poop chute. This one already kind of fell out, so we'll just tie it on there, and then it just pulls it right out. And if not, you can pull it out the other end because you broke it.
Now that we had food, we needed fire. So we're intentionally making this hard, Jerry?
We're gonna see if this product really works, I guess. That is as wet as wet gets.
This was some sort of waterproof fire rope that I had never seen before, but Sean brought it along and we figured, why not put it to the test and see if it actually is capable of igniting after it's been fully submerged.
There it goes.
No way.
It's still there, barely.
No way. That's impressive.
With our tinder bundle lighted, we slowly added to the fire until we built it large enough that we could start cooking on it. First was some snail appetizers before we threw the lobsters on. Now, you're going to see pots and pans in here, and actually a lot of these were found on the beach. We enjoyed each other's company for the night and made a pot of what we would later call coffee tea, since it wasn't really like coffee at all. It was more like you were drinking water, which was bottled near a coffee bean roasting facility because someone didn't know how to use a percolator. Morning of day 2. Slept pretty decent. I was up at like 4 o'clock this morning, and it was really bright out. You could see really well. Watched the sunrise this morning. I'm just gonna get up, make some coffee, and get at it. Morning plan is head out and try to dive for some conch, and then possibly go out and do some spearfishing as well before we come back. We'll probably end up doing lobster for lunch or dinner, whatever we can find.
So for lunch today, we wanted to get some lobster and some fish, so we had to beat the winds. We have 20-mile-an-hour winds coming today. So we went out with the panga, probably about half mile to 3/4 mile offshore, 2-3 foot. Willie shot a hogfish while we were out there. Then we came back into the channel because it was a little too rough. Ended up trying to shoot some gray snappers, got one of those. And then we found some lobster, so we went ahead and cleaned those, dropped the heads down, used the heads as baited in this nice big mutton. Ended up with a couple of muttons, one really nice one. And so between the lobster, the mutton, the hogfish, we're gonna have dinner, baby.
Morning to day 3 here, so we're heading her back today. We're gonna need a little more water before we can get going though. So the wind was absolutely ripping last night, and that's evident by the amount of stuff that's blowing all over. Even our fire pit from last night is completely already filled in with sand, so very windy last night. It's nice and calm in the bay where we're staying, but we have like 25-mile-an-hour winds. They're going down, so it's gonna be a wet ride back. All packed up, ready to go. Jerry and I are taking the jet skis back, and everybody else is gonna load up on the panga, and that's a wrap. We closed out our vacation from our vacation with an uneventful but wet ride back to Sean and Emily's house, where we then tore everything apart to clean it and pack it away until next time. This will surely be a trip that none of us ever forget.